Welcome to Carpet Talk, a safe place where we process and discuss walking with Jesus. Join us on the carpet.
Hey, what's going on? My name's Angel.
And I'm Temi.
And this is pretty exciting. Welcome to Carpet Talk. It's good to be here. So, Carpet Talk. Tell me a little bit about that. That's pretty cool. What is that? Where'd that name come from?
Okay, so it's actually a funny haha story. My friend and I, her name's Camille.
Okay.
We were in the elevator last semester. This was around like September 2023, and we both had a lot on our minds to talk about. It was silly topic now that we think about it, but during the time it seemed like a whole lot was going on. And I went to my room to get something, and she was with me, and she liked my white rug. It's like this white fluffy rug in my room. She laid down on it and was like, "Temi, I really like your rug." I was like, "Okay, thank you." Yeah. And she just goes, "Can I tell you something?" And she just goes venting, saying everything on her mind. Yeah. And after that, she asked me if I had anything to say, and I did. So I vented too. Yeah. So we bonded in that moment, and it was just such like deep conversation that was just so wholesome and like it was like fresh breath air, honestly. And after that, she was like, "Wow, that was really good. We should do that more." I was like, "I agree. We should do that more." And we just came up with a whole bunch of like random names. It was like rug talking or carpet sitting and one thing after another, and carpet talk came up, and we both were like, it was like a zing moment, like carpet talk. Yeah. So we started it with our friends, and our friends would just start saying, you know, "Oh, Temi's having a carpet talk," or something, or so cool. "I need a carpet talk moment," or something. So it became like a thing of last semester where we would just all gather in my room and each just share what we were feeling at the moment and kind of just connect and pray for each other and just try to figure out this life that we're all living for the first time, and like how we can each either give advice or just sit and listen, because sometimes you just need someone to listen. So that's where the name came from, and it became a thing, and here we are.
That's so cool. Yeah.
Thank you.
So this is obviously pretty exciting. We get to be here and kind of just talk and have conversations with people and get to know a little bit about how they follow Jesus, how they're disciples with Jesus. That's really powerful. And so I love that story that you told of just sitting on a carpet and talking with people and just having genuine good conversation with them. That's so awesome. And I think a very vital aspect of discipleship is just to kind of sit with people and be with them, get to grow with them. Like Jesus did that a lot with like eating and fellowship with people. That's a big part of that. Yeah.
Really cool.
Yeah. So have you ever done anything like this before, where you've kind of
my goodness. Okay, so I've always wanted to do a podcast, video kind of stuff. So when I was a freshman in high school, I did a video.
Okay.
It was like how to be confident as a woman.
Nice.
When I was
That's great.
15, 16 years old, barely a woman myself.
That's so fun.
But I always just really liked talking. I don't know. I always had a lot in my mind. So I don't know if you've done this before, where you just all of a sudden you're in your room getting ready and you just like have a sermon going on.
Oh, you're just talking to yourself?
Just talking to myself.
That's nice.
So I feel like I've always dreamt about this happening.
Oh, that's
and
so cool.
It's just like such a little dream come true for me. And little me is so happy right now. But I have my own like YouTube channel that I've always tried to start up with, like just giving advice and like imparting wisdom in any way I can. But also I love watching podcasts. So I've always like wanted to be a part of a podcast. So I'm really happy that this is happening. But what about you? Have you ever,
Yeah, I used to make little silly YouTube videos as a kid. Nothing like a podcast before. So this is kind of just, it's definitely new territory, but it's a ton of fun to just kind of sit and have a conversation. But yeah, I kind of want to get back to that carpet talk, like the name again, and just something that hits me with that is just how simple it is to be like sitting on a carpet with someone, how simple that is. And I think a lot of the times with discipleship, with following Jesus, it can kind of seem like this big thing, this like a lot to do. There's so many sermons, so many messages of kind of just this is what you're called to do as a Christian. This is how you're supposed to be a better disciple all the time. And it can, for me personally, can really boggle me down. Have you ever kind of experienced that?
Yeah, I think when I first started, like wanted to just be more like Jesus day by day, it kind of felt like a lot of pressure in a way where I was like, wow, I need to go out there and like speak to people and share the gospel, but it's like so much work. How do I do that, you know?
Yeah.
And I feel like the whole purpose of this is just to simplify it, like you said, where it's like you can be a disciple and you can, like, wherever you're at, that's your ministry, whether it's your classroom, whether it's your home, whether it's workplace, you know, it doesn't necessarily have to be you traveling to Uganda and something, like trying to be a missionary, all, like, it's a lot of pressure.
Those things are good, but
they are great. Don't get me wrong. They are great. But it's more of, like, being a disciple. I feel like with your own journey, it's, like, so personal, and you just have to try to just listen to where God is calling you to be, and how to walk with Jesus and wherever you're at, you know?
Oh, that's so cool.
So great.
I mean, I like to think of it as almost like trying to follow Jesus can sometimes feel like a dense forest.
Yeah.
That's kind of an image I have in my mind when I think about it.
Oh,
and
wow.
you're trying to walk through it, and it just is so difficult. And you're looking at this big picture and can't really see a way through. And so maybe you pray or say something like, God, I can't make it through this. Like, you see this? You see what I'm faced with following you? Like, this is impossible almost. And then, like, God kind of, like hearing him say, rather than looking at it as this big picture, just take your next step. Just walk with him, and he's going to show you the way. And so rather than looking at this big, dense forest of discipleship, more like taking that next step, simplifying it into simple habits or simple little things that we can do throughout our day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is great stuff I'm hearing you say, Angel.
Yeah.
Okay. So how did you come across Concordia?
How did I come to Concordia?
Yes. What's the story behind that?
Yeah, so my dad is a Lutheran pastor.
Okay.
And so I wanted to come to Concordia because it's a Lutheran school, and I am honestly, I wanted to eventually go to seminary. So the idea was to come here and learn about psychology. The reason I'm studying psychology because I figured a good foundation for following Jesus, for being a pastor, would be to like know how to love people better, how to listen better, how to understand people or make people feel understood. So I did that, and that's kind of why I came here. And as I've come here, I've gotten involved with a lot of things with campus ministry and things like that. What about you? How'd you get to Concordia? What brought you here?
Oh my goodness. Long story short, I met a lady who went to my church, and she taught in the ABSN program, which is off campus, and she told me about nursing school, and she knew I was trying to be a nurse, but I didn't think I was smart enough. I didn't think I could afford Concordia, if I'm being honest. And she just kept on saying, like, you should apply, you should try it out. And I'm like, yeah, I'll look into it. And over time, I think there was a day where I was just having such a rough time, and she saw me in that moment where I was just so broken down, and she prayed for me. And after a while, she was like, did you apply? And I was like, no. So I ended up applying because I felt like it was a sign that she was the one that saw me at that moment. And one thing led to another, came to Concordia, didn't even know there was a campus, if I'm being honest. I don't know if anyone, some of my friends have been in that position where they're like, Concordia, what is that?
Yeah.
And when I went to visit, I just absolutely fell in love with it. And applied there, transferred to traditional, and I'm in nursing school now, and things are going great, and feel very much called to it, and I just love the community and everything about it, and I love that it's on a nature preserve, because oh my gosh, it's so beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay.
How's the nursing program been?
You want to know the truth, or you want to know the truth?
The truth, yeah. Okay. I'll take that.
It's been good.
Okay.
I think it's difficult if you're not someone who genuinely has a passion for it. Yeah. I don't know why you would put yourself in that situation anyway, but I feel like personally I really, really want to be a nurse. So my mindset is more of like, okay, you just got to go for it. You got to put all your effort into it. Yeah. And before I never really had that. I was just more of like going through school just because of school. But I think if you genuinely have a passion for it, it's worth all the mental breakdowns and the
mental breakdowns.
It's not easy, but it's really good. And also, like, the fact that Concordia is faith-based and we get to pray before class starts, that is just so unreal to me. I never really thought that was a thing because, you separate church and, like, what's the word? church and
State.
Yeah, that. So knowing that I'm here and I get to be open about my faith and I get to pursue my calling at the same time, it's just it's great.
That's awesome.
It's really good.
That's so cool. And obviously, like, you've talked about, like, sitting on a carpet and talking with people, kind of doing that as maybe an aspect of discipleship almost, walking through faith conversations with people, and that's really cool. But my kind of question to you is, this obviously, like, a discipleship, we're talking about discipleship a lot. So what would you say it means to be a disciple with Jesus?
You know, how about you answer that question first?
How about I answer that question?
Yes, I want to hear what you have to say. I just out of curiosity.
Okay.
I just feel like I've been talking a whole lot. Let's hear your story. Yeah.
A disciple with Jesus. Yeah. I mean, obviously, we've talked about kind of walking one-on-one with people. And I think clearly, like I was saying earlier, we see Jesus doing that with his disciples, walking with them, and I think that is a vital aspect, is just to walk with people towards Jesus, to point them to him and everything. So some of the things that, like, I've been doing, or like in my discipleship journey as I've come to Concordia and just throughout my life, is like, I will go to coffee with people and just kind of talk to them about what they believe, talk to them about faith conversations, open up the Word together. It's actually really, really cool. There's a guy at our school, a pastor at our school named Steve Fick, and he was talking about, like,
I love Steve.
Yeah, Steve's great. You have this, like, if you have somebody that maybe wants to believe in Jesus and they want to walk with him, but they might struggle to find time to read the Bible, as crazy as that sounds, but that can happen.
Yeah.
It's like, instead of just being like, oh, well, you should do that anyways, kind of doing it with them and being like, hey, I'm going to come with you on this journey to follow Jesus. Let's open the Word together. Let's do that right now. Let's go and do that and start doing that. And so that's been something that's really impacted me.
Yeah.
It's just like, relationally, you go, and when you hear something, you listen, you take it in, and you're just like, I want to love you, and I want to walk towards Jesus with you and show you his love.
That's so good.
So now your turn. What do you think it means to be a disciple?
I see it as trying to be more like Jesus day by day and seeking his guidance through every decision. You know, because I feel like I've been in a spot for so long where I personally like taking control in a way. I didn't know this about myself until recently, but I like, a side of me subconsciously tries to manipulate things into happening, where it's like, oh, maybe if I happen to be somewhere specific, let's say the cafeteria or something, I can be friends with, I don't know, whoever it is, but I just catch myself not really trusting God in certain situations. So the more I got into, like, I've been in different discipleships right now with my church, with Pastor Steve and Pat, and it's just been good seeing all this, I don't know, just being more open and learning so much more about how to walk with Jesus, and like all the books I've been reading. It's been so good seeing. Basically, it's just, of course, you have to spend more time with God to know who he is and to even know how to become a disciple, because Jesus, like, he put everything in there in the Bible, like everything he went through, and just studying that little by little has been so good. And I think I try to just be more of a disciple, more like going into the community and also looking at myself and figuring out where I need work on to be able to love people more and to be able to hopefully be an impact in the society, because you never know who's looking at you. You never know who's like, a lot of people admire other people. There are people in school that I think are so cool, and I'm like, I want to be friends with those people, you know? Like, they don't know that I'm thinking that, but I feel like hopefully there's someone out there who wants to be friends with me, and I don't know. But I feel like as Christians too, it's not just about the label, but it's about the lifestyle, you know, and just moving forward. And it's like praying to God every day, saying, Lord, I just need your help with this. Like, I want to be a disciple. I want to go out there and have people look at me and just almost instantly know that I'm a Christ believer because of my lifestyle, you know? So I've been trying to do that, but it's just, you know, being a part of campus ministry and trying to love people in my dorm and small group, and at church I serve, I sing, I guess it's not more, but it's also not just doing things for God, it's spending time with Him. Yeah. And that's how I see it.
And I think all that sounds like so good, just to go out and live your daily walk. You're just kind of doing things, and while you're doing that, you're constantly reminded of following Jesus constantly. And the reason is because of how Jesus loves us so much, like that power of being reminded of that all the time, and living in that grace, and just, professing that Jesus is Lord. That's a beautiful thing to be able to rely on daily. And those moments when it's like, this is really difficult, this is really intense, following Jesus is really hard. He says to pick up your cross and follow Him. That's not an easy task. And as you were sharing, it's like all those things sound so amazing. They also sound quite difficult, to just constantly be trying to look towards Jesus, be trying to always love people, especially on days when it's like, I don't really feel like talking to anyone today. I've definitely been there. So a question that we want to end off with, and really make sure that we're always answering, and we've kind of been talking about this, but what does it mean for you to be a disciple maker with Jesus? And we definitely have been talking about that for a little bit, but it's like that kind of the phrasing of that. I was very specific in the question because it's with Jesus. It's not for Him. It's with Him. You're walking with Christ. Yeah. You're not doing this for Him like He's some like God outside of it, but He's with you in this. So what does it mean for you to be a disciple maker with Jesus?
How about you answer first?
So specifically, like we've talked about disciple, but I'll kind of rephrase it: disciple maker, a disciple maker with Jesus. So like you're making disciples. So not just being a disciple of Jesus, but also making disciples with Jesus. More specifically.
So what comes in my mind right now would be, I think, dwelling in the Word of God with people around me.
Okay. Yeah. Absolutely. Okay. Dwelling in the Word with people is absolutely, I think, a beautiful thing, because we get to go to Jesus and we just get to read that Word with people, and I think that's a beautiful way to,
and like we're all growing together in that area,
Yeah. And so, and I think what you were saying earlier about just sitting on the carpet with people and talking with them, that's another thing. Just letting them vent, listening to them, hearing them, loving them, reminding them that, hey, I love you, and Jesus loves you, and we are following Him together. Yep. We are walking with Christ together, and we want to bring people to that love. So
good stuff.
Absolutely. Thank you guys for joining us. It was so much fun to be able to do this. This was really exciting.
Hope you enjoyed it. I hope you,
I did. It was fun.
Yeah. I did. I hope it all makes sense. Okay. But I think we just really hope that you think about these questions as well. Like, it's not just us answering them, but it's also like we're trying to help you. We're trying to help you understand more of these. We're all kind of just growing in that area, and it's not. It goes way beyond Concordia. So, anything to add?
Absolutely. I think next time we're going to be talking to Don Christian, the president of our university.
The president.
So that is very exciting. We're going to get to hear from him some insight. It was good to be here, and thank you guys for watching, for joining us on the carpet. Yeah. See ya.
Okay.